It's Thursday, and you know that means story time here at Washington Carnegie Public Library. So we're going to read a story today. We're going to read a poem. But first, we have to sing. That's what we always do. So can you guys help me? Can you help me sing along? Here we go. If you're ready for a story, clap your hands. If you're ready for a story, clap your hands. If you're ready for a story and you really want to show it, if you're ready for a story, clap your hands. If you're ready for a story, find a seat. If you're ready for a story, find a seat. If you're ready for a story and you really want to show it, if you're ready for a story, find a seat. Our story today is called Lucy and Tom from A to Z. Some people say Z, some people say Z. It's by Shirley Hughes. She also wrote the poem that we read today. Right. Here we go. A. Lucy and Tom know a lot of words beginning with A. A is for apples and ants, also for apricots, aunties, airplanes, acrobats, and artists. B. B is for books and bed. Lucy and Tom nearly always have a story read to them at bedtime. Tom knows most of his favorite stories by heart. When he's in bed, he can look at the pictures and read aloud to himself. Lucy keeps some of her special books under her pillow, just in case. C. C is for cats, of course. Lucy and Tom's cat is called Mopsa. Her fur is brown with black stripes and patches of white. She doesn't often get cross or scratchy unless she's played with for just a bit too long. C is for colors and crayons too. It's fun mixing up the colors to make different ones. See, blue and yellow making green, blue and red making purple, red and yellow making orange. D. D is for dogs. There are 4 living in Lucy and Tom's street. A little fluffy one, 2 middle-sized ones, and a big spotted one called Duchess. Tom doesn't like Duchess very much because she keeps knocking him over. See, she's being very friendly. D is also for ducks who live on the lake in the park. Lucy and Tom often take them some bits of bread in a paper bag, and they come waddling up out of the water to be fed. E. E is for eggs, chocolate ones at Easter, all wrapped up in shiny paper, and real ones for breakfast. Lucy and Tom sometimes play a trick on Dad by putting an empty eggshell upside down in his egg cup. When he taps it, there's nothing inside. What a horrible surprise. F is for friends. Lucy's best friend is Jane. They are in the same class at school and see each other every day. Tom's friends are James and Sam. They often play together. Sometimes they get cross with each other, but friends are important people, so you can't be cross for long. G. G is for Granny and Grandpa, two other very important people. There are plenty of interesting things to do at Granny and Grandpa's house. Lucy helps Granny in the garden, and Tom helps Grandpa mend things. They have some long talks together. H is for homes and houses. Can you see where Lucy and Tom live? If you look very carefully, can you see where Lucy and Tom live? Do you see them? I wonder where you would like to live. Can you pick a place that you would like to live? I think I would like to live in that house because I like the look of the flowers in the garden. When I read this with Silas, he wants to live in the house next door to Lucy and Tom because he wants to play with them. I is for ill. This is Tom being ill in bed. He needs a lot of things to play with. Even then he gets very hot and bored and keeps calling out for people to come and amuse him. Lucy is only a little bit ill. She's on the sofa eating ice cream. J is for jumping. Lucy has a skipping rope and she's learning to skip. She can get up to 10 or even more. Tom can jump from the second stair and from one paving stone to the other. Sometimes he jumps on the furniture too, though it's not really allowed. K is for kites, flying high up over the windy hill. Do you see which one is Lucy's kite? This one here. Which one is Dad flying? It's this one here. You can see all over the town below. L is for light. There's sunlight, torchlight, and twilight. There are street lights, car lights, and the fairy lights on the Christmas tree. And there's the light that shines in from the landing when Lucy and Tom are asleep. M is for moon, the most magical light of all. So beautiful, very silvery. N is for nursery school, where Tom spends his mornings. It's like preschool. O is for oranges and orange juice, which you can suck through a straw. O is also for oven. There are some good smells coming out of this one, but you have to be careful because it's very hot. P is for park and playing. There are lots of things going on in this picture. Here's Tom pushing one of his friends on the bicycle. Here's Lucy in the sandbox playing with her friends. I think that's Lucy. And there's Mum sitting on the bench chatting with the other parents. There's someone dressed up like a cowboy. People swinging and climbing, chatting. There's a lady throwing a ball. And this looks like someone who had a little accident. He's crying and getting comforted by his dad. Looks like a lot of fun. Q. Q is for Queens, which is one of Lucy and Jane's favorite games. Tom is supposed to hold up their trains, but he doesn't often want to. That is his non-compliant face. R. Is for rooms. These are some of the rooms in Lucy and Tom's house. See the rooms? Different things going on in each room. S. Big S and little s. S is for streets and shops. Lucy and Tom have been to the supermarket with Mum. They've bought something else beginning with S. Can you guess what it is? Well, they have a little white bag, and I think it's sweets or candy. T. T is for toys, tea time, and television. See their toys, and here they're having tea time or supper, and then here they're playing and watching television, or TV, as we usually say. U is for umbrellas. Splashing in the rain under the umbrellas. V is for voices. You can whisper in a very soft, tiny voice like this. Or you can shout in a very loud, noisy voice like this. Or you can make music with your voice by singing a tune. There are cross voices and kind voices, high voices and deep voices, happy voices and whiny voices. Which kind of voice do you like best? Something to think about. W is for winter, when it's too cold to play outside. The windows have frost in them and the water is frozen over. When the snow comes, all the world is white. X is for xylophone. Lucy's xylophone has 8 notes, and each one makes a different sound when you strike it. You write notes in a special way like this. C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. See? C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. That's an octave. Y is for yachts on the water and yachtsmen on the shore. See, they've got their remote control boats, and Lucy and Tom have one on a string. Z or Z. Z is for zoo, of course. Z is also the end of the alphabet, and this is the end of Lucy and Tom's ABC. And to finish, let's sing the alphabet song together. This is something you can do at home as you watch me read. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z. That's the end of Lucy and Tom from A to Z. Our poem today is from a book by Shirley Hughes called Out and About, a first book of poems. We read a poem from this last week as well. It's all divided into different seasons. So I'm going to read a poem from the section about summer. And it's called The Grass House. The grass house is my private place. Nobody can see me in the grass house. Feathery plumes meet over my head. Down here in the green there are seeds, weeds, stalks, pods, and tiny little flowers. Only the cat and some busy, hurrying ants know where my grass house is. Sometimes poetry doesn't rhyme, but there are other ways that all the words work together to sound beautiful, and that's the way the grass house is written. So that's the end of The Grass House from Out and About. Thank you for joining us today. I'm so glad you could listen to our story. I love reading to you, and I will be able to read to you next week if you want to join in with us again next week. If you ever want to read for yourself any of the stories that we read on Storytime, be sure to check at your local library to see if they have them. Wherever you are, just have a look and check your local library. Bye, we'll see you next week.